friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another video where we're gonna talk about books. I'm super excited about this one because there is nothing better than a tag about books. That's just a fact. I wasn't the one who created this tag or came up with the questions. It was actually at Pro Book Nerds on Instagram. I was just inspired by their 30-day book challenge. I just thought that was super fun, but I'm not the biggest fan of doing like 30-day challenges on Instagram stories, so I thought I would pick up all the questions and make a video. Basically, I just wanted to say that I don't own this tag in any way. All the questions and everything belong to the Pro Book Nerds. I'm gonna link them down below and the post as well. Just wanted to let you know because it's important to credit creators. Now we can actually get into the question. All the books that I'm gonna mention are books that I've read myself, and I'm gonna try and mention as many different books as I can. The first question is favorite book in a series. I'm actually gonna show some light on a series I read in middle school and absolutely loved, and the opening book in the series called Across the Universe, which is also the name of the series. The whole series by Beth Revis was my favorite. I was a huge fan of everything science fiction dystopian when I was a teenager, and Across the Universe was like one of my absolute favorites, like in the science fiction genre. That's the word. It takes place in a spaceship that is heading to a new Earth-like planet. There is a new society of people who have been born on the spaceship, and then there's also 100 cryogenically frozen people from Earth. The main character is Amy, who is a 17-year-old who has been frozen with her parents, and she's supposed to sleep through this trip to the new planet, but she wakes early, and this is a no-no. It's not good. And while that happens and while Amy's awake, someone starts murdering people on the spaceship. Yeah, who is it? Will Amy find out? Would recommend. At least like 13-year-old me would recommend. The question 2 is your favorite book by your favorite writer. My favorite writer is Riordan, and that comes as no surprise to many of you. I cannot mention just one book, so I'm gonna mention 3. So I'm gonna tell you that my favorite books by Riordan are The Battle of the Labyrinth, The Last Olympian, and The Mark of Athena. These books are absolutely amazing. There is so much drama and so much just action, character development. But yeah, those 3 books are probably my favorites off of Rick Riordan's work. Question number 3 is book you didn't finish. It's very rare that I don't finish a book, but one book that I didn't finish was The Life-Changing Magic of Not Giving a F by Sarah Knight. I just got so annoyed, and I just realized that I personally didn't give a f about the book, and everything Sarah Knight tries to tell the reader is that you shouldn't be doing anything or shouldn't be hanging out with people who you don't give a f about. I just realized that that means I can just put this book down and never look at it again. Book you remember from your childhood. Paddington by Michael Bond. It's basically a very nicely illustrated book about how Paddington Bear came to the family. I can't remember their last name. Well, the family that decided to take care of him. My brother wanted to hear it every single night when we were kids. Every single one of us remembered it by heart, and my brother remembered it so well that if my mom tried to skip a page so we could like get through it, even if he was asleep, he would say, "You skipped a page." Question number 5, favorite classic novel. I'm gonna choose a Finnish classic because this is a book I heard about before any of the classic novels I heard about when I was in high school. Also, I mostly hate every single one of them. Wuthering Heights, I couldn't stand that. The Master and Margaret or something like that, honestly cannot stand that book either, so I'm gonna mention The Unknown Soldier by Väinö Linna. It takes place in Finland during the Second World War and during the battles between Finland and the Soviet Union. There is a lot of characters in this book, and all of them really represent men in the war. They weren't like all most of them were just not like proper soldiers. I mean, this book is fictional, but this gave a really good kind of a window to the world of Finnish men in the war. Most of them just wanted to go home with their families, but they had to be there. It's a really good book. I really enjoyed it, and my favorite part about it is all the dialects that have been given to the characters. Question number 6 is book that broke your heart. Me Before You by Jojo Moyes. There is so much about this book that just has me crumbling. I love how this book is written. I love the characters. I don't want to talk about the plot because I'm probably gonna spoil something, so check it out on Goodreads. Number 7 is best audiobook to listen to on a road trip. I don't really listen to audiobooks. Question number 8, series everyone should read. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Honestly, it's my favorite series. If you have never heard about Percy Jackson, where have you lived? Under a rock? It tells a story about a young, first 12-year-old, but he grows up during the books, 12-year-old boy called Percy Jackson who hears that he is the son of Poseidon. The gods are real, like the Greek gods. Well, I cannot tell you much else because again, I'm gonna spoil stuff. Basically, Percy finds out this huge thing about his life. He is sent to Camp Half-Blood where he learns to fight against monsters, and then there's this huge plot that happens throughout the books, and it's really good. So well written. The world is amazing, the characters are amazing, and whew. Number 9, favorite book to give as a gift. Youre About Us by Jen Sincero. I know some of you don't like self-help books, but I promise this is not like your average self-help book. Jen Sincero talks about, I mean, your basic like confidence and stuff, but also like money management, trauma, everything like that. It is so good. Number 10 is a book that makes you cry happy tears. I chose to mention The Invisible Child by Tove Jansson. I mean, this book is a kind of like a novel collection. There's like a couple of little movement stories, but The Invisible Child is my absolute favorite. That story is very comforting and that one makes me cry happy tears. The next question is super cool. Literary character you want to have dinner or drinks with. Well, I chose 3. Grover Underwood from the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. We would have an awesome vegan meal and we would talk about how to save this planet. Next one is Alex Claremont Diaz from Red, White and Royal Blue. He knows how to have a good time, so I would definitely want to have drinks with Alex. And the last character is Hazel Grace Lancaster from The Fault in Our Stars. I think it would be super interesting to have a conversation with her. Of course, there's like a million other characters I would want to have dinner with, but those are just a couple. Number 12 is a popular book or a popular book you hate. A book that so many people loved but I hated was the first book of the Mortal Instruments series by, I can't even remember the writer. I hated the main character. I hated so much about this book, and yeah, no. Okay, now I got that out of my system, let's move on. Number 13 is a book with a color in the title. Water Runs Red by Jenna Claire. This book is a poetry book. If you like the poetry by Rupi Kaur, I don't know, is that correct? But yeah, if you like that kind of poetry, I think you would also like Water Runs Red. A fairy tale retelling. I realized that I have never read a fairy tale retelling. A book that makes you cry sad tears. The Mark of Athena by Riordan. If you haven't read this, honestly, you don't get it. You don't get it. If you have read this, you know what I mean. You just know. It hurts. Number 16, a book you've read more than once. One of the books that I've read more than once for sure is If I Stay by Gail Forman. Yeah, I've read this book probably 5 or 6 times. Number 17 is a book with a person's name in the title, and the name can be real or fictional. But I wanted to be smart. I wanted to include a recipe book because I like a nice variety of books, so I'm gonna mention Eat Smart by Naomi Smart. I think that's a very smart, a very smart play with words. It is full of amazing vegan recipes from breakfast to lunch, dinner, snacks, dessert. And I think my favorite recipe from this book is the mac and cheese. It's just delicious. Number 18 is a book you like by an author no longer living. This was when I realized I haven't read many books by people no longer living, but I think my favorite one is The Diary of a Young Kid by Anne Frank. As a huge history nerd, it was very important that I read this book and understand that side of Holocaust. I think it's a book that everyone should read as well. Question number 19, an audiobook you like because of the narrator's voice. Does this count? It's not officially an audiobook, but there is a Drive folder, I'm gonna link it down below, where Chris McCarroll, the Broadway actor, read The Lightning Thief by Riordan. Chris McCarroll played Percy in the Broadway musical, and his way of reading the books is just perfect. I really wish they made an audiobook where Chris read all the Percy Jackson books. That would be amazing. Number 20 is a book with an unreliable narrator. Still Alice by Lisa Gnova. It is a book about a woman called Alice who has Alzheimer's disease, and throughout the book she loses her memory, which is why she is an unreliable narrator. Honestly, the idea of Alzheimer's freaks me out, and if I remember correctly, I think this was also a thing that freaked Alice out, was that would she still be Alice. I think this was a super interesting read, and also taught me a lot about Alzheimer's that I didn't know. There is always some truth in fiction. Number 21 is an anthology you love. The Tales of Beedle the Bard by J.K. Rowling. Basically, this book is a fairy tale book for wizard and witch children. It's really cool because this book is a book that is in the Harry Potter books and, well, in the movies as well. But J.K. Rowling has also put it in a book form for us to read, and I love it. All the stories really remind me of the Grimm fairy tales, but as like very magical wizard stories. And number 22 is an LGBTQ plus love story. Plus. This is super easy. Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I am obsessed with this book. Red, White and Royal Blue is about the first son of United States and the Prince of Wales, and it's a love story between them. They fall in love, but it's not so easy when there's the big presidential election ahead, and then, well, is it okay to be gay if you're a prince? I cried happy and sad tears. I was so angry when I was reading this book. I was also super happy, and I just love it so much. Number 23, a book quote you know by heart. I try not to think it interferes with being nuts. Number 24, a book collaboration by 2 or more authors. This was also super easy because there's only one collaboration book that I've ever read, and that is Let It Snow by John Green, Maureen Johnson and Lauren Miracle. And yeah, this is a very kind of Christmassy, festive winter book. I actually really like it, but I was quite disappointed in the movie. But yeah, it's a very kind of chill, festive read. Question 25, book villain you actually love. I really tried to find a book villain who I love, but I couldn't think of a single one. Honestly, it kind of freaks me out. Isn't there... I have nothing else to add. It's sad. It's so sad. Number 26, biography you think everyone should read. Walt Disney by Bob Thomas. I think everyone kind of thinks they know Walt Disney and everything about the Walt Disney Company, but honestly they don't. I thought I knew everything and all, and just a lot, but I didn't. So yeah, I think this would be a big eye-opener for many. Number 27, book you read every year. Youre About Us by Jen Sincero. It's not only a good book to give as a gift, it's also a really good empowering motivational message for every day. Every time I just need a kick on my butt, I just grab this book. Number 28, classic novel you haven't read but plan to. I've heard so much good about Little Women by Louisa M. Alcott that I am so interested to read it. Oh my god, last two! Ugh. 29, book cover you love. One that gives me so much minimalistic satisfaction is This Modern Love by Will Derbyshire. Derbyshire? Something about the simple aesthetic of that book cover just gives me something that makes me go, mwah. The book you're reading right now. It's The Lightning Thief by Riordan. I was feeling really sad one day this week, and I just decided to read this again because Percy Jackson is my comfort book. So yeah, excuses, am I right? I was gonna tell you, but the next book I'm gonna read is not by Rick Riordan, but that would be a lie. But it's not Percy Jackson or Heroes of Olympus. It's a new series, which I've never read before, called Trials of Apollo. But yeah, enough of me talking. thank you so much for watching. Hit thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe down below, and I'll see you next week. Bye.